Hello students, in the previous class we have seen the magnetic properties of D block elements. Today let us discuss about color properties. So generally S and P block elements will form colorless compound, while transition metals, nothing but D block elements, will form a colored compounds. Okay, so what we can say here, S and P block elements form colorless, while transition elements form a various colors. So why? So we are saying that MnCl2 is a pink color, CuCl2 is a green or blue color. So what is the reason why they are exhibiting color? Okay, so let us discuss. In D block it will explain about different colors. So when you take a white light is nothing but, here we are going to speak about visible region. Okay, actually in a rainbow we are having 7 colors. 7 colors means we are going to have Vibgyor. Okay, so means these 7 colors. So when white light is passed through a substance, okay, when light is passing through a substance, the light radiation transmitted from this substance and the color is visible. Okay, that is we call it as color exhibition. So what we can say, when some white light passes through a substance, the light radiation transmitted. So when white light is passing through substance, automatically what happens? It is transmitted from the substance and it is showing some of the radiation. Okay, so that one we call it as color property. When passing through a substance, what happens? Automatically the light radiation is transmitted. Transmitted from the substance, we can say. So these radiations of the missing colors is observed by the substance, we can say. So light containing the radiation of the complementary colors, okay, of the visible light is observed. Whenever the visible light is observed, that is transmitted. Whenever with light radiations we are getting, that is complementary colors. So depending upon, generally Vibgyor, take a circle here. So what we are saying, indigo we are going to take. Vibgyor. So if you have been observed, depending upon, one more thing, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so if you take indigo, we are going to get Vibgyor. So if you happen seen, whenever you are getting violet, automatically the complementary color after observing, okay, so that one will be yellow. If you see blue, that one will be red, or red will be blue, orange will be showing green. Okay, so when you see, orange will be green. So means what we can say here, depending upon their wavelengths, complementary color is nothing but what? We are having 2 colors, that is transmitted color and complementary color. Transmitted color is nothing but what here? Transmitted color is nothing but here, when light radiation is passing, means what we can observe before, that one is the transmitted color. After light radiation, whatever color we are getting, that we call it as complementary color. For example, the copper is blue. Okay, so when you pass light radiation, it appears as a green. So means what? Whenever the light radiation is passing, the complementary color is observing. So based upon their wavelength, we can easily say the colors. And also absorption in the UV and visible regions is due to what here? Electromagnetic radiation, because of the change in electrons, we can say. That one we call it as electronic spectrum also. So what we can say here? Absorption in the visible and UV region of the electromagnetic radiation. What happens? Causes energy changes in the electrons, we can say. So this one we call it as what we can say? This is known as electronic spectrum, we can say. Okay, so let us examine example to explain the color. How you will explain the color? So generally color of the transition metal ions depends on the number of unpaired electrons in d orbitals, we can say. So here the d orbitals are freely isolated, and in gaseous metal ion they will have equal energy, we can say. So that's why we call it as they are degenerate orbitals, we can say. But the d orbitals of metal or metal ion in its compounds or hydrated ions or complexes, they will be having somewhat difference in their energy. Why? Because this is due to splitting of d orbital into two sides, we can say. So what we can say here, the color properties of d orbitals mainly depends on what here? It depends on energy levels, we can say. Okay, so that one we call it as d orbital splitting. So by this what we can say here, when the orbitals are how much large we are having space energy gap, that much large the color will be forming. So for example, if you are taking 5 degenerate orbitals which is in free, so d orbitals of an isolated ion or atom, we can say, or we can say degenerate orbital. So means what here? Here we are saying it is divided into two sets, that is upper energy level, lower energy level. This is upper energy, the energy distance will be here delta E energy gap. So what we can say here, upper energy level, this is a lower energy level. So means what? Atom or ion surrounding negative ions here. So by this what we can say here, we consist of generally two orbitals, that is what here, dx square minus y square dz square. Another one is dxy, dyz and dzx. Okay, so this is due to what we can say, this is due to the symmetry we are saying. So the splitting of degenerate d orbitals take place due to the presence of anions of the compound or water molecules which is bounded to a metal ion in the hydrated ion, we can say. But the average d orbitals, what happens? The energy remains unchanged. When white light passed from the metal ion, automatically the electrons in the lower energy level will absorb energy and promote to a higher energy level. Okay, but the energy difference between the two d orbitals is less, then transition of electrons is possible due to visible radiation. By this we can say, means by this what we can say, the light whenever emerging from the substance is very much rich in complementary color of the observed light, we can say. So compound exhibits then what here? Color. Okay, so this is about d orbital splitting. Some of the examples we can say, mainly this is due to unpaired electrons, which is having unpaired electrons, they will only exhibit the color. If you take scandium here the unpaired electrons will be 0, so it is a colorless Titanium, if you take here one unpaired electron, it is having purple color. And if you take V plus 3, it will be having 2, it will be a green. If you are taking chromium, it is having 3 unpaired electrons, violet. And also Mn plus 3, it is having 3 unpaired electrons, again it is violet. Fe plus 3 if you are taking, that is yellow. Mn plus 2 if you are taking, that is pink. Fe plus 2 you are taking, that is green. CO plus 2 if you are taking, that is pink. Okay, so like this, Ni plus 2 copper blue colorless, Cu plus means colorless, Zn plus 2 means colorless. So like this they will exhibit the colors. Okay, so let us see about next property, that is catalytic properties. What is next property? Catalytic properties. Okay, so what is catalytic property? What is catalyst? Catalyst is nothing but here which does not participate in the reaction, that one we call it as catalyst. Okay, so it will in the reaction but it does not participate in the reaction, we call it as what here? Catalytic property. So means what? It will enhance the rate of reaction but it does not involve the rate of reaction. So what we can say here? The property of catalyst is enhancing the rate of reaction but does not involve the rate of reaction. So this one we call it as what here? This one we call it as catalytic properties. Sorry for the disturbance. So this one we call it as what here? Catalytic properties. Coming to D block elements. So when you take D block elements, okay, so when you take D block elements, transition metals and their compounds form important catalyst. Okay, so when the reaction between molecules of the reactant and the surface atoms of the catalyst. Okay, so what will happen? The concentration of reactant at the surface catalyst increases, bond of the reactant molecules will become weaker due to decrease in activation energy, we are going to say. So here what happening generally, due to decrease in activation energy, automatically the catalyst, the rate of reaction, what happens? It will become, the reactant molecules will become big, then the reaction taking place at low activation energy will be very less. When surface area increases, automatically rate of reaction increases, concentration of reactant and surface catalyst increases, then the rate of reaction increases. But coming to here, what happens? The energy is low, then the molecules will become weak. So here some of the important catalyst we are having. So generally transition metals, they'll form important catalyst in industry and also biological activities, we can say. So coming to here, depending upon their different states of oxidation, and they will form coordination compounds also. So mainly it is good catalyst is for heterogeneous catalytic reactions, we can say. Good catalyst for heterogeneous catalytic reactions, we can say. So here let us take SO2 plus half O2. It will give V2O5 SO3. So what happens here? Generally here it is not participating in the reaction. Okay. So and also we can take here N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3 in the presence of Fe and Pt catalyst we can take, and also MnO2. MnO2 will act as good catalyst. Okay, FeSO4. So if you take Fe and MO, Haber's process. This is the Haber's process. And for nickel is used as hydrogenation of oils, and MnO2 act as decomposition of KClO3. Okay, so these are the catalysts they are using. Okay, and also nickel is what here, hydrogenation of oils we can say, means what here, C2H5 in the presence of Ni or H2 we are going to get C2H6. So cobalt will catalyze the decomposition of bleaching powder also. So these are nothing but catalytic activity. Okay, and also we are going to have interstitial compounds. This next one we are going to have interstitial compounds. Interstitial compounds is nothing but what? Elements of very small atomic radii like hydrogen, boron, carbon, nickel, nitrogen will form interstitial compounds. Okay, so what we can say here, elements of very small atomic radii like hydrogen, boron, carbon and nitrogen form what here, interstitial compounds we can say, or non-stoichiometric compounds. So means what, these have metallic nature we can say, very hard and brittle, and what interstitial means, they will occupy the vacant space when large sized transition metals or their ions occupying the holes are the positions of the metals. Okay, so generally they do not combine in definite ratios, means it is not a stoichiometric. These substances are also known as, we call it as what, this is also we call it as non-stoichiometric compounds. Why? Because they will be going and adding to the another position, not here. So these are also show what here, metallic nature they show. Why? Because metals is nothing but what here, metals is nothing but hard and brittle, high melting and boiling points it is going to have. Okay, and also lattice point also it is going to have. So generally the density of interstitial compound is less compared to the metal we can say, like titanium, vanadium, chromium. So these will be, for example, if you have been taken here WO to WO, so means some 2.88, 2.92. So here compared to this density is very less. Okay, so means what here, oxides we are taking, they can combine with oxygen also, and also carbides if you have been taken, TiC, MoC, MO2C. Okay, so these are the examples with the carbon, nitrogen. So these are interacting with the metals we can say. So these are associated with electrical conductivity, and also they will give color. So they may become non-stoichiometric high temperature and become color we can say. So coming to here, some for example steels you are taken, that is non-stoichiometric compounds of carbon and ferrous. But coming to here, non-stoichiometric between these oxide sulfates of transition metals will show one oxidation state also. Some iron is replaced by iron 3, 2 is replaced by 3, like that it is going to form. So this is about interstitial compounds. In the next class we can discuss about complex formation and also relative stability of oxidation state. Thank you.